Right, everyone, here again. This is the last word, everybody. Just looking at the skyline in the dark there of St James's Park in the background. This is the last word. We'll reflect on all of tonight's performances, lineups. We'll hear from Eddie Howe, and of course we'll have to talk about off-the-field stuff as well. So, look, coming to do these videos, we front it, whether we win, lose or draw. NFTV will always be there every game, years and all that, but I just feel so proud but deflated at the same time. Because I can't question, I've said this in a couple of videos already that's gone out, I really can't question them lads' performance tonight. But we'll come to that in a minute. Let's begin with the lineup. Liverpool, we did it in the predicted 11. We got 10 out of 11 right. The only one we didn't get right was obviously McAllister. It was Jones in there. We got Sloboslai right, playing it right back, got that spot on. Liverpool, on the other hand, doesn't surprise me, that lineup. Newcastle, didn't surprise anyone. That was the same side that played last week against Aston Villa. We were a better side against Villa. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And I can't question it. Obviously, some more options. Great to see Joe Willock on the bench. Didn't play, mind. Great to see Ramsey, Lewis Hall as well. So there's some positives, some squad depth. So that was great to see from the beginning. Obviously, we'll talk about the injuries a little bit later. But it was first half, then I thought Newcastle were class. You know, I was seeing a couple of people around us. We've got to score when we're on top, and we didn't score when we were on top. 20, 25, 30 minutes, first half an hour, and then we were putting a few chances in there, but we didn't really test Alisson for me. We're the better side, but that's a wild, reckless challenge by Anthony Gordon changed the whole complex of the game. Initially, and I've said this already, initially it looked like yellow cards right down the other the Gallagher looking straight at it, but obviously we can't see what's happened in slow-mo, and he's put his studs down the back of the leg. Hooper goes to VAR. As soon as you know it goes to VAR, when it comes from the ear, goes to VAR, you're not fine, well, it's going to be a red card. Comes back, he explains why. Difficulty here at mind, but it's a red card. Liverpool score, Gravenberch as well. In that first half, I don't know if I've done this in the right order, because me heat's all over the place. It's all over the place in a minute. But Gravenberch scores from the edge of the box. Nick Pope's flat-footed. So Newcastle are already 1-0 down. And I think it was Trippier give the ball away. Pope, maybe, if he's not flat-footed, I think he saves it. So we're 1-0 down against 10 men, and you're at half-time. Now, the atmosphere tonight was absolutely sensational. We'll come back to the game in a minute. That atmosphere, we predicted, everyone said it all. That's why Sky are here on a Monday night. That's why they're covering it, because we have such a passionate fan base, and so do Liverpool, especially their loyal supporters that go to the games. They're passionate just as much as us. They were a little bit quiet, mind, I have to say, until they scored, which surprised me a little bit. I thought they would be up for it, singing as well. But look, the atmosphere was just sensational, man. It felt like a Champions League night. Everyone, the whole place was bouncing. There was drama. It was a great advert for the Premier League. Obviously, we're devastated that we've lost it the way we did. But it was a fantastic advert. That's why you go to football games, to have those highs and lows. And obviously, we've got a massive low tonight. And no doubt at some point this season, we'll have a massive high at some point. So great atmosphere. Great half-time. Half-time, just keep your shit together. But Newcastle concede after 40 seconds? Had a great view of it. Ball on the left-hand side. It comes back to Hugo Ekitike. I don't know who's marking him. Again, the benefit of coming out of the stadium straight away is that you don't see the replay. You can't see the replay. But it's a great finish, side foot. I think it hits the bottom corner, bottom left. I can't remember if I hit the woodwork or not. But that's 3-3 for him. Liverpool have found themselves a goal scorer. Do you need another one? Nah, you aren't getting another one. 2-0. And do you know what? 2-0, I thought, that's it. I honestly thought that was it. Play for the badge, play for pride for the rest of the game. You know, maybe get a goal back. You know, lift it. But to be fair, the crowd was sensational once again, even being 2-0 down. And obviously the referee got a lot of stick, especially when Fabian Schar went. Fabian Schar went down with a head injury after that goal, right? Alisson's waving to get him seen. The referee just plays on. He's got a proper serious head injury. He's cut. And then Konate's waving the fourth. I don't know if he's picked it up on the TV, but Konate's running over as well. So what, 2 Liverpool players running over? He needs help. Whilst Liverpool attacking, who else hasn't got a fucking Scooby-Doo? Shocking, man. Absolute appalling referee. Shocking, that. And obviously the crowd went nuts for it, and you don't know what you're doing. You're not fit a referee and what have you. But galvanised by that Bruno goal. Great. We're 2-1 behind now. However, The atmosphere is bouncing. Even with 10 men, Liverpool look like the team that had the 10 men, not us. That's why they're champions. They can play shit and win because they've got clinical at the final third. We talked about it in the previews and stuff. They're vulnerable in defence. We're showing that again tonight. And then you're thinking, right, you're 2-1 down. Could Newcastle really come back and get a goal, another one, and maybe nick a point? Eddie Howe made the subs. Tonali was injured with a shoulder. Joe Linton went off with a leg injury. Miley came on. Ramsey came on. Willasula came on. Lewis Hall came on. Moved Livramento. So all the subs happened. We had a triple sub at one stage. And it's just fresh legs because you're up against it. And then Willasula, a long ball, kind of like flicks it and doesn't know where it's rolled in the back of the net. Alisson's nowhere. 2-2. Like, fuck me. 2-2, you know? We're like, do you know what? Can we win it? Can we go and make this, really? But realistically, I was really thinking, right, blow full time. And then we concede so late in the game. 10th minute, of the 11 minutes. Oh, just devastating. Taps at it. I can't, do you know what it is? Even now, I didn't know how I scored it. He was just free. I don't know who's marking him, but it's again, look, it was heartbreak. But do you know what? This is why you're in football, because when you suffer the lows, the highs mean more. And I'm proud of the boys tonight. I'm really fucking proud of them wearing this. Cannot question the endeavour, the heart that they've shown tonight. It was absolutely sensational. I don't know what the media have said. The atmosphere was incredible. The performance on the pitch was outstanding. If you haven't seen Scoring the Players, I rate Eddie Howe and the team's performance so high after defeat, which will probably never happen again this season. Because those lads, and I've said it loads of times, that was a fucking heroic performance tonight. That was sensational. I'm proud to be a Jordan because they wore the badge tonight. And that's all we ask. Play for the badge. We don't demand a team that tries, and we demand a team that tries and all that and wins, and that old saying, the quote. I haven't got that right because we heat all over the place, but here's now what I'm on about. But that was just, it was breathtaking from the lads. The effort, the sweat, the work rate, the heart, the passion. It was all there. It was all there tonight. Absolutely brilliant. And people might look at it and think, well, Newcastle have only got 1 point from the opening 2 games. Look at the performances, though. It was absolutely shocking in pre-season. I've been away following them all the way around the world. It's like, oh, Christ, we didn't look in good shape. Aston Villa, we were the better side, just couldn't score. Liverpool, we were the better side with 10 men. I think there will be some changes. Obviously, we'll come back to the injuries in a moment next week against Leeds, but here's the gaffer, Eddie Howe.
So many different emotions, because really proud of the performance, really pleased with how we played, great energy, great intensity, really pleased with the following of the game plan and then adapting, because we go to 10 men and for me we're the better team in the second half as well as the first. So to come away with nothing and injuries and suspensions and concussions, it's a pretty bad day.
Where are we with all the injuries then that you've picked up tonight?
Yeah, Sandros doesn't look good. He was in quite a bit of pain. I don't know the full extent of him or Joelinton's injury, but they both look threatening for us in the sense that they could be out for a while. And then, of course, Ant's going to be suspended, which is a big blow for us. Just reflecting on that, I thought there was no intent. People say it looks bad. I've not seen it again. I've seen a really quick image of it. I thought he was trying to pull out of the tackle in the end.
So that was Eddie Howe. Sensational. Can't fault the performance, as I say. Class. Just cruel. Football is mega cruel. It's why we love the sport, because, as I say, when the lows are low, when you get the highs, they feel more sweeter. They feel a lot more sweeter. But yeah, let's talk about those injuries. Obviously, the Fabian Schar one doesn't look too bad, thankfully. Hopefully it's not concussion, hopefully, because that means he has to wait a week. Obviously Malik Chow, that's the one I forgot. Malik Chow, who came on for Schar in Scoring the Players. The worry is Tonali's shoulder and Joe Linton's. I don't know if he's pulled a hamstring or he's I don't know. Don't know if his leg, but hopefully those aren't too serious, because yes, he needs squad depth, but you don't want to be picking the injuries up already so early in the season when we've got the Champions League draw to come on Thursday and so many games and domestic cups. I think the League Cup draws on Thursday as well. So hopefully those aren't too serious. But you do have Joe Willock. Was great to see him on the bench, as I say. It didn't feature mine, but great to see Lewis Hall. I think he'll start against Leeds. I think Tino will move back over at right back. And obviously you've got new signing Ramsey. So hopefully there isn't too many injuries, touch wood. That's concrete like, but nearest thing. That's not too bad going into next week against Leeds. Which again will be another fantastic atmosphere because they've got great home support. So, off the field stuff, we can't escape that we've got under a week left for deadline day. The bid has gone in for Jorgen Strand Larsen, say the experts, i.e. the journos. That's been rejected for 50 million. We need a striker. I'm banging the drum, and you're banging the drum at home. Everyone, you're talking to your pals doing the pub, you're talking to your work colleagues, you're talking to your family. Yeah, it's a broken record. So it's a broken record. We all know this, but it's getting to the point now. Newcastle are getting a little bit desperate, I feel, because we're entering now more or less 6-7 days left at the window. We've got to get a striker, but just getting to the point now. Do we take going down that list, aren't we? Because for me, Jorgen Strand Larsen is, you've got Isak, you put category A, category B. I think Larsen's probably category C, but we're getting that desperate that we need a striker. Yes, Will Asula came off the bench and scored, and rightly he should start against Leeds, regardless if a new striker comes in, because I think that sends a message if you don't. What else you got to do to get in the start lineup if you come off the bench and score? But going back to it, we'll have to get a striker in. Do we look at the loan market? Ivan Toney, could you convince him to come over? You've got to be first choice. You're going to play. You can get in the World Cup squad for England. If it comes down to that, that's personally who I would go down that route. Because Ivan Toney, we know that he's proven, obviously, he wants to prove a point as well at Newcastle. He didn't make the grade at Newcastle. But look, there's names banded about, like Johan Vissa's obviously now training with the Brentford first team. I think Keith Andrews has said that he doesn't expect Vissa to leave. Maybe he's just saying that to wind people up or play games, mind games, who knows. But there's so many strikers out there that Newcastle have been linked to. And look, it's going to be a downgrade, but there and then we don't know what's happened with Isak. Obviously, Liverpool the other night. Do Liverpool come back in? I was listening to Talk Sport on the way, and they all think that Liverpool will come back in this week for another bid. But if Newcastle sell Isak so far this late, we're going to have to get 2 strikers in, never mind 1. And are we capable of doing that? And I question that. Are we capable of doing that? Because if you look now, Yasser Al-Rumayyan's here. He needs to be cleaning this shit up. Because at the moment, because of the illness down Niels, where's the CEO or where's the replacement? Where's the sporting director? The under-21s don't have an official manager yet. Robbie Stockdale might get that. But no, the women's team have been moved stadium to a different stadium that nobody wanted. We've got a striker who's on strike. Well, not on strike, but he doesn't want to be here. He's still training. And then we've got a Champions League campaign. Look, Yasser Al-Rum, he needs, and I'm sure he will. I'm sure he has to give the green light to certain things. Because we're not in crisis, because that's not the word, but it's been an absolute shit show over the summer off the field. It really has. And we're getting desperate where we need to have strikers, because if Isak goes, we have to get 2, and I don't think we're capable of having 2 class strikers in. We're going down that A, B, C, D. We're on Strand Larsen's a C. And people might say I'm being harsh, but that's how I feel about it. And we are going to have to come down a peg, because we're not going to get a world-class striker if we sell Isak regardless. But obviously we need to replace Callum Wilson already, because he's gone. So if Strand Larsen comes in, Jorgen Strand Larsen comes and replaces Wilson, great. But what's going on with Isak then? Are we replacing him? Or if we're selling him? Or because once deadline comes, so the 2 scenarios are, once deadline comes, we've got a striker who's still at the club who doesn't want to play. Is he going to be integrated back into the squad? And then it's going to take him time to get match fit. Obviously, the internationals are coming up, so keep an eye on if he gets called up for Sweden, because that'll help if he does, if he's still at the club. And that'll take time. And a public apology has to come. And you've got to explain why. We don't just want, I'm sorry, my head was turned, yada, yada, yada. I want you to explain. You've got to come out and explain why. Do it on camera so we can see your expressions. However, what if he goes? What if he guns? Are we capable of having 2 strikers? Good strikers in? Or are we going to drop to Strand Larsen and Vissa? Is that our attack? I don't know. But going back to on the pitch, those lads out there tonight, brilliant. Brilliant performance. Proud of them. Can't question it. I really can't question that. But there you go, everyone. I've got to wrap up here. Hope you've enjoyed all of our videos throughout the night. we'll see you very soon here on Newcastle Fans TV.